And welcome back to The Count, where we are counting down the major stories of the week. I'm Heather Childers, moving on now to story number 2, A Tale of Two Deals, the sequel. Senate Republicans, as we told you, are mounting a response to the administration's infrastructure plan, unveiling their $568 billion counteroffer to President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar plan this week. Joining us now to discuss is Chuck Gray, Wyoming State Representative, and he's also, by the way, challenging Congresswoman Liz Cheney for her seat in 2022. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Heather, thanks for having me.
So just your first initial thoughts of everything that the Democrats had to say in reference to what they want to spend and what they want to include as part of infrastructure.
Well, this is just another slush fund expenditure from the spend-happy Democrats, mortgaging our future with debt, increasing taxes, when infrastructure could fully be paid for if they stopped the mass transit spending in cities. 25% of the Highway Trust Fund is mass transit expenditure in cities when it's gas taxes paying for that. And it doesn't make sense for gas tax revenues to be paying for subways or bike lanes in big cities. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and we have up right now what Senate Republicans plan to include, if we could bring that back up. Their infrastructure bill includes what's traditionally thought of as infrastructure, roads and bridges and public transit systems, along with drinking water and wastewater, railroads, expanding the nation's broadband infrastructure as well. But then compare that to what Democrats are including in their infrastructure. And we're talking about the one that goes back to what I think it's almost $3 trillion. It also includes things that you would think about in terms of the Green New Deal, but instead, just bring that up one more time, it includes elements like racial gender inequities and STEM, billions of dollars for that, $174 billion for electric vehicle market, amongst some other things. So basically, the Green New Deal, also trying to pass it in parts of the infrastructure plan along with the Green New Deal that they were talking about this week. So a whole lot of spending, and they're sneaking different things into different bills that they're proposing.
Well, and this is a favorite tactic of the left, Heather, which is to put a bunch of earmarks, unnecessary expenditures into a package and label it infrastructure. It's right. What they're doing on Twitter by saying everything, just fill in the blank is infrastructure, which has become a joke because it is.
Yeah, I want to bring that up one more time because I want people to be able to actually see $10 billion for Civil Climate Corps, $20 billion for advanced racial equity and environmental justice, and $175 billion on subsidies for electric vehicles.
And in the state of Wyoming, this is damaging the number of jobs, our full potential that we can have, because we're oil, gas, coal, ag, those are our core industries. The left has prevented us from exporting our coal, gaining access to markets through the West Coast. And this Green New Deal is part of the same plan to shut down Wyoming, shut down our state, which it's wrong. It's wrong-headed.
Yeah. And that wasn't even the Green New Deal. That's part of their infrastructure plan, what I was just reading out. The Green New Deal plan that they have is on top of that and more money. You know, when it comes to the jobs, though, when you talk about these jobs directly related to infrastructure, do you think that the Biden administration is picking and choosing what jobs they deem important when also offering to, you know, retrain these workers but doing away with their jobs? High-paying jobs, actually.
Oh, absolutely. And they say that, well, out here in Wyoming, that they'll retrain us. Retrain us in what?
Right.
It's a hollow promise. And you're absolutely right. It's a corrupt process, the way that these jobs are handed out, and it's a slush fund. Yeah. That's what it is. So and it's mortgaged on our future. That's a big part of it too. They don't pay for it. When we could have an infrastructure bill, if they got rid of the mass transit account, which is 25% now of that Highway Trust Fund, for subways in cities when it's gas taxes they're supposed to be paying for it, they want to increase taxes, saying that the Highway Trust Fund is insolvent when it isn't.
So you're running against Liz Cheney. How important is an endorsement from the former president?
Well, it's very important. We're putting together a strong team here, and we're showing strength through fundraising, through grassroots support. That's the stage we're in right now, and it's the campaign's in full swing. Please visit chuckforwyoming.com. You can donate there, learn more, sign up to volunteer to get involved, chuckforwyoming.com. And we're in a pivotal stage right now. There's no question.
What do you think about Liz Cheney? Do you think that she should still have her leadership position with the Republicans?
Oh, absolutely not. She doesn't represent us here in Wyoming. She doesn't live here. She doesn't represent the conservative cause. The impeachment vote was an enormous betrayal. It was really disgusting, unconscionable. And Liz Cheney was the first one in line at Nancy Pelosi's house with her $24,000 refrigerator stacked with ice cream, the first one in line for a sundae for their narrative. And they took advantage of it. Yeah. There's no question the left-wing media did.
All right. Well, Chuck Gray, thank you so much for joining us this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Heather.
All right. Well, good luck.